Welcome to Dead Man Talking. Tonight's show is the next instalment in the fantastic series by Smokey Beardman. As ever, do let us know down below in the comments what you thought. Please do like and share, it really does help build the channel and our community further. And of course, don't forget to hashtag TeamFEAR. I believe tonight, or the next 24 hours, is the last few hours of my opportunity to get as many likes and comments as possible on my entry into the Chilling Towers for Dark Knight's competition, the Evil Idol 219. All you need to do is search Evil Idol on the search bar of YouTube or Chilling Towers for Dark Knights, and then look for the Luke Penton round 1 entry. Whilst you're there, you may as well subscribe to the channel as well. I have many exclusive stories, some very high caliber performances by some very high caliber voice actors. And so, without further ado, let's get into tonight's story from Smokey Beardman, entitled The Naturals, The Escape. Let's get straight into that. I'm telling you, we need to leave now. Sean had been at us all day, swearing that something bad was about to happen, and that if we were going to not only survive, but do something about it, we would have to leave. I'm sorry, Sean, but there is nothing wrong with our systems, and our outposts have not reported anything out of the ordinary. Tack was trying to be diplomatic, while also trying to calm Sean down. I told you I can't tell you what it is, but I have foresight, and I know something bad is about to happen. Boone strode up to Sean's side and nodded.
Listen, boy. Tack, gifts from Sky Father and Earth Mother are no joke, and are not to be taken lightly.
I understand, but we can't just pick up and leave. If we don't know what is about to happen, we can't prepare for it. Take it from their point of view. You have supernatural powers. Most of the people here don't believe you do, and that it's some kind of party trick, and also don't believe you should be here even though you joined. Now you tell them that we'll need to leave with no proof and no hint of danger. To them, you seem to be just looking for attention. I have told Costas about your premonition, but even he can't order a full evacuation without some scrap of evidence. Oh, fine. How about this? We get the team together and we pack for a vague mission. A mission that we don't know the full details of. After all, we do it all the time. We gear up and we take off. Costas reports it as a possible werewolf incursion. We are to go in and investigate and try and bring it back. Would that be viable? That might work. Let me run it by Costas. I'm sure that he will figure something. Thank you, Tack. Don't thank me yet. Tack left for the elevator and Sean made his way into the day room. You really are serious about this, aren't you, Sean? I couldn't help but ask. I still have trouble believing all of this sight stuff. Yes, Ty, I'm dead serious. If we stay here, we will be caught up in whatever is coming. We won't be able to do anything about it. Alright, I'll get Mia and we'll start packing a go bag. You should do the same. Pack your armor and weapons, and your saddle as well. Be ready to go when the word comes in. With that, he ran off to pack, Boone in tow. I went to the weight room to tell Mia, who was doing some weight training before dinner, that we were probably going to have a faux mission that night. It might save our lives and that we was to pack for any event. She looked at me for a minute when I told her. Obviously thinking it through, she took Sean's vision seriously. I understand why. He hasn't been wrong as of yet, or at least since he came back from that quest he left on about 6 months ago. So no definite info to go on. Just pack for general events? Does Terry know? No, yes. Tack will tell him on the way, I'm sure. Come on. Don't want to be caught with your pants down. On it. When I got done packing, I grabbed my bag and tossed it next to the elevator door. When I turned back to the day room, I saw Sean, Mia and Terry coming down the hall with their bags as well. Terry was carrying an extra bag with tack painted on the end of the duffel. Tack always had a go bag packed, just in case. We made our way to the day room to await the call when it came, and soon Jake made his own way to the elevator and deposited his bags. Boy, did they look heavy. The man has no idea how to pack light. I swear, he brings every gun he owns. He joined us in the day room and took a seat across from Terry and Mia. He then looked Sean in the eyes and said, "So, the shit's about to hit the fan and the brass can't pull their heads out their asses long enough to smell the coffee? Why assemble this team if they won't take us seriously?" "I don't know, Terry. How long do you think it will take for them to make a decision?" "Knowing Costas, not much longer. He is the one who makes the call to send us out on the missions. All he has to do is fill out the paperwork and that's it. It's a hefty form, but he shorthands everything." As soon as Terry finished this statement, the pod speaker came to life. "Naturals, assemble topside. Mission briefing in transit. I repeat." Jake didn't give it a chance to repeat. "Okay, everyone, arseholes and elbows, let's go." We got topside and made our way to the now warming helicopter. Agent Costas was there with Tack. Terry handed Tack his bag and Costas told us in short that he was joining us on this one, and that he was leaving everything up to us after we leave, and that he had faith in Sean's gifts, and that we would be heading a short way away, survival training. We were about 3 hours out when we let down in a stretch of woods. After covering the helicopter with camo tent, we marched into the woods. Mia was quizzing Sean on survival trivia. We all still liked to train him when we could. He was like a little brother to us. He did actually remind me of my brother. About another hour into the woods and we made camp. Costas had a simple pop-up tent, simple flick of the wrist and it was up. The rest of us built lean-tos, as to seem legit, in case the brass sent scouts to see if this was straightforward. After the request of full evacuation of the base, the powers that be might find this training mission fishy, and we didn't want to be ordered to return before the right time. Tack and Sean went to gather food. Mia and Terry went to gather wood. I set to work preparing a fire starter block and bow. We go all out in survival training. And while we were preparing camp, Jake took to the trees to take first watch, rifle hanging from his shoulder. The man could climb like a monkey. We sat around the fire that night and swapped stories and jokes while we dined on berries and fish from the local stream. Mia telling a dirty joke about the fly dropped 6 inches, which made us all crack up and Terry turn a bit red. He always was a bit shy about dirty jokes. After dinner, Costas pulled from his bag a bottle of really fine and expensive whiskey and a few shot glasses. He passed them around and filled them up. Sean wouldn't be 21 for a few months, but nobody cared if he joined us in a few shots. The face he made on the first shot was priceless. We finished half the bottle, and Sean fell asleep after 5 shots, and we all turned in. Costas tossed the bottle up to Jake and said he could finish it after his shift, and that he, Costas, would take the second watch. The next few days went along the same way. We taught Sean as much as we could about survival and continued to train him in martial arts and other hand-to-hand techniques. Costas made daily trips to the helicopter to report in and get status reports from home base. We bathed in the stream and avoided poison ivy when we needed to fertilise the trees. Nothing worse than an itchy ass when in survival training. It was night, and the squirrels and the rabbits that Mia and Terry had brought back were cooking over the fire. Sean was sitting next to Boone. The two were rarely separated, surprisingly close. Sean even said that he could see through Boone's eyes if he concentrated. And tonight, he said that he was focusing on the soon-to-be event. Tack munched on a fried squirrel in his post in the tree about 20 feet away. We were talking among ourselves when Sean came with a start. "It's happening! Home base is under attack!" At this, we heard the running towards our camp. Jake grabbed his revolver. Mia readied a short sword. I took a fighting stance. Costas also drew his 9mm pistol. Terry grabbed the stun rod that he had taken to carry with him. Oddly enough, Sean wasn't even paying attention to what was approaching. He just started packing his gear, and then we saw a figure materialise between the trees. It roared, and the roar was cut off as Tack landed on its back, driving a long buck knife deep into the back of the thing. Both hit the ground hard. Tack rolled off the thing, and using his foot, rolled it onto its back. We all, except Sean, ran to the thing to see what it was. It was a large wolf-like thing that was bipedal and huffing, as blood foamed in its corner of its mouth. The spinal cord must have been hit, because although it was breathing, it wasn't moving its arms or legs. It was fading as we looked at it, and then before we could say a word, It spoke.
Run.
Its growling, breathy words growing softer and softer.
Something bad has come to the world. The moon has disappeared from the sky. All will die. All will.
The last was lost as his life gave out. The breath escaped the beast, as did its excrement. Tak recovered his knife, wiping it clean on the beast's hide. We looked at each other and ran to our camp and started to pack up camp. Sean was already packed and had fixed the saddle onto Boone's back. I'm going ahead and scouting the base. I got my short and long-range radios on the saddle. Contact me as soon as possible. Luna has come. With that, he jumped on the saddle and he and Boone were off. Boone was faster than our helicopter and they would get there before us. Tak walked past me as he finished packing and said, "At least he didn't say, 'I told you so.'" At this, Jake chimed in. He might as well have. We were almost back at base when we finally made contact with Paladin. "Paladin to Tak. Come in, Tak." "We are close, Paladin. Report." "The ground level is a bloodbath. All lights are off and one of the barns is on fire. There must be 30 bodies scattered everywhere. Some of them have been positioned on pikes in really fucked up poses. It's like some sick art gallery." At this, I felt the panic run through me like electricity. I moved towards the cockpit and grabbed the radio from Tak. "Are there any weird letters or runes written on the buildings?" "Hold on, I'll check." A minute passed before he came back with a reply. "Street Fighter, affirmative. They are everywhere, written in blood. Hold on." Sean went quiet and came back. "Boone says they are Mogwan spells, but he says they are strange. These spells are aimed towards the Sky Father and Earth Mother, curses and defamation. We both think this is Luna's doing. These Mogwan have been created by her. But since she is less powerful than Sky Father and Earth Mother, they will not be as powerful as the real deal. As it is, we can't tell how many there are, but as we are waiting, we see a bunch of creatures escape the base. All kinds. My guess is that they were released from the zoo, on the bottom floor." I was just stunned and barely took any of this in. I still had friggin' nightmares about that thing in the mine and the one in Atlantis. Now there was at least one at home base. I looked back at the rest of the team in the back and they were all equally terrified except Mia, who looked concerned, but I gave her the benefit of being ignorant to just how terrible these things were. True to the fact, she never has had the displeasure of seeing one up close and personal. I gave the radio back to Tak and made my way back to the seat, now feeling sick from nerves. Tak told Sean to wait on us to arrive and we would investigate together and come up with a plan from there. When we were on the ground, we got our first real look at the carnage that was our base. It was like a vivid flashback of the mine, body parts scattered everywhere, bodies positioned in grotesque poses. At the corner of the shed that housed the main entrance elevator was a pyramid of heads, and just inside was a Mogwan arm and the corpse of a Bigfoot. The corner of the floor of the elevator was ripped up and out. The more intelligent creatures could probably figure out how to use the elevator. You only needed a handprint to get down, not call the elevator down from below, nor to ride up. The Mogwan probably used a hand from one of the corpses to gain access to the lower levels. We regrouped and reported our discoveries. Everyone met roughly the same scenes. Boone had a look of almost pure rage on his face, a look I had never seen there before. When he spoke, his voice growled and quivered.
"This is an absolute outrage. They have no respect. Kill them, all of them. This must not stand."
Smoke rose from his nostrils as he spoke. His eyes glowed bright and red. His tail whipped back and forth quickly as he dug his claws into the ground. Sean put a hand on Boone's flank to calm him. I knew this was coming, but I didn't know it would be this bad. "I'm sorry, guys. Maybe if we'd stayed closer?" Tak interrupted Sean at this point. "Don't blame yourself. You did your best. If anyone is to blame for this, it's the higher-ups for not listening." "Do you have any info I can use to dictate our next move?" Sean thought for a while. "Luna has created some Mogwan that are not as powerful as real ones. On top of that, Luna herself might be here. Boone, what could be done about her?
You are Paladin of the Sky Father and Earth Mother. Your armor can protect you from her influence. The dagger can cause her to sleep. The hammer will banish her from this realm. Press the hilt to her forehead and she will appear in front of the Sky Father and Earth Mother. They will curse her back to the sky. If you can't stab her with the dagger, the hammer can kill her if you use the white side. The black will kill the soul. Let us hope that that will not be necessary.
Okay, I think I got a good plan figured out. Street Fighter, you will accompany Paladin. Gunslinger, you will accompany me. Blade, you got Hacker. Stay in contact via short-range radio. We will sweep floor to floor. Costas, if you don't mind, take the panic room on the R&D floor. You should be safe there until we can contact you when it's all clear. And remember everyone, buddy system. Never lose your buddy. No going off on your own. If there's no questions, let's do this. After tax orders, we all double-checked our gear and made our way to the elevator. Tight squeeze, but we all fit, including Boone, who refused to leave Sean's side. Having a dragon with us made us breathe easier. The first floor was a maze of offices and labs. It forked a couple of times and we were split up. Costas got into the panic room. When it closed, you couldn't even tell it was there. Sean, Boone and I set to clearing rooms. We got to the 5th room and we found 2 of the demons. They looked everything like I remembered, except smaller. 6 foot tall, black, blood-matted mane of hair running down its back like a horse's mane. Long arms almost dragging onto the floor. Black and red stripes like a zebra's. No eyes, no ears, dog-like head. The tail was touching the floor. Sean looked disgusted, but other than that, he showed no fear. A brave man. Boone looked like someone had pissed in his Cheerios. The things noticed us, and before they could react, Sean rushed them, cursing them with each swing of his hammer. The things were agile and dodged him again and again. I was about to run in and give him a hand till they both ducked the hammer and were going in for the kill. I was horrified until I saw one drop. Sean twisted on the spot, just dodging a claw stab, and I saw what had taken down the first demon. Sean's bone dagger was in her hand, and the blade had dark, thick blood. He was now facing the back of the thing as it went past him, and he brought the dagger down on its back. It dropped to its knees, and Sean pivoted back towards the thing and brought the hammer down onto its head. The crunch and squish was disgusting, but overall welcome. In less than 15 seconds, Sean had killed 2 of these things. I was impressed. As he pulled his dagger out of the creature, I walked up. That was something else. Did you plan that out? Boone instead answered.
He couldn't be if he could not handle more Guan.
Thank you, Boone. Don't worry, Ty. I got this. I know you got this, buddy. I was just going to say, save some fun for me too. Sean laughed and we moved on. I looked at him and couldn't help but feel that the student surpassed the master. How is it that you took him out like that when I struggled against one? But when we spar, you can barely land a blow. Sean looked at me square in the eyes and simply said, when we spar, I don't use my gift. It would feel like cheating. How am I supposed to get better if I don't work on the actual skill? Fair enough. We walked down the corridor and our previous fight seemed to attract attention. Now, coming out of the rooms left and right were at least 5 more things. Sean took 2, Boone took 2, and I took the last one. The thing darted at me, swiping almost blindly. I threw a jab and caught it square on the jaw. I felt its jaw break, and the pain didn't seem to bother it much, of course, before I could come back with a second blow while I thought it was stunned. It kicked me in the gut. I slid across the floor. I tried to catch my breath as I got up. The thing was coming at me, and I let loose a flurry of punches. No wild haymakers, but pinpoint precise punches. One after the other, and soon it dropped to its knees. I gave it a swift kick to the head, and it fell to the floor. I hurried over and stomped on its head. It didn't quite cave in on the first time, so I lifted my leg, and it raised its hand weakly to try and stop me, but it was no use. I slammed my foot down the second time, and the skull gave way, straining my army-issue combat boots with the disgusting blood and brains. Breathing hard, I looked up to see Sean sitting on the bodies that he and Boone had taken care of. Sean was not breathing hard, nor was he sweating. A smile spread across his face as he asked, "Having fun yet?" I couldn't help but chuckle. As much as I could be. Come on, don't drop your guard. I can see all around. Nothing is going to sneak up on me. I haven't dropped my guard, but thank you for your concern. I learned as much as I could from you and Mia. I hope to learn more. Let's go, if you're ready. I was proud of the boy, and we moved on. We ran into a couple more of the bastards and met with the others. Mia had a cut on her cheek and Terry had a cut that was healing quickly on his shoulder. Tack was limping but seemed no worse for wear. Everyone safe? All clear? Good. Blade, Hacker, you will take biolabs. Paladin, Street Fighter, you will take the living quarters. Gunslinger and I will take containment. Paladin is the one that needs to take Luna if she's here. If you come across her, do not engage. Retreat and radio in which floor you find her on. Paladin, if the call comes in, you and Street Fighter make your way to that floor immediately. Take out the big boss and clear up the rabble afterwards. Okay? Okay. Move out. On this order, we piled into the elevator to the lower floors and made our descent. Sean, Boone and I got out of the living quarters and there was not a soul in sight. Tack and Jake wished us luck and the doors closed. We made our way down the hallway. The only noise we made was the clacking of Boone's claws on the floor. The floor was dim, with just the emergency lights to give us light to see with. And then Sean stopped. "She's in the day room. When we get in there, leave her to me. I have to do this. Right, Boone?"
Correct. Anyone else would get in the way. If she touches you, you could be turned against us or worse. She could transform you into a full Smoke One. Even though I cannot fight her, I am too young to be able to resist her power.
If that's the case, then I'll stay back and make sure you aren't interrupted by some kind of sneak attack by one of her minions. To be honest, I really didn't want to be turned into one of those abominations. We turned the corner, and there she was. She was all of 7 foot tall. She was slender, and her skin smooth except for her face, which seemed to have circular scars from some battle long past. Her breasts were big, and her hips were wide. A gorgeous hourglass shape. Her hair was silvery white, and her eyes were the colour of the deepest blue. Stars seemed to sparkle from their depths. Her lips were ruby red, and her nails were long and white, and they shone in the light, almost like they glowed. I could tell that if it weren't for the scars, she would have an absolutely beautiful face. Her dress seemed to be made of starlight. It glittered and sparkled. It was cut low and was tied to her body. It appeared that she was wearing high heels made of diamonds. Sean strode forward. He had a fierce look in his eyes. He obviously wasn't impressed with Luna, as I was. Next to me, I could hear Boone growl deep and threateningly. Luna took notice of us quickly and turned to face us. When she spoke, her voice was like that of an opera singer, beautiful and saddening. "Ah, father and mother's paladin has come to return me to purgatory. Here I thought I would have a little more time to stretch my legs and breathe air. You are quite the handsome one, young paladin. Might I know your name? It is only polite." "I am Paladin Zahon, Ostad the Seer, Sean Mendes the Champion." "Ah, those are some very nice titles indeed. Many accomplishments for such a young one. I am sure you know who I am. After all, you are my father and mother's paladin. How could you not know? And who are your friends? The handsome one and the wise one. They are none of your business. I am your adversary, and the only one you should be concerned with. You know the secrets to my spells. This will be interesting. I have barely broken loose from my prison. I have escaped so that I may request a pardon from my father and mother. I feel I have learned my lesson and wish to be free again. Soul has turned and become angry and violent, even towards me. We may not be able to be together, but his spell can still hurt me. As you can see by the scars on my face. I fear that he will kill me or worse. keep me alive as to torture me. I will accept being sent back and go quietly, if you promise to take my request to father and mother. Do you agree to the terms?" Sean was quiet for a moment. He seemed to think about this offer deeply, seriously. The fierce look never left his face. "Deal. I will talk to them on your behalf. In the meantime, you will return to your prison in the sky. Come, let's get this over with." I could not believe what I was hearing. How dense could he be? Even Boone looked shocked by this decision. They walked towards each other. Sean looked down for a second to unlatch his hammer, and as he did, I saw a flash of deceit or intent cross her face. Before I could warn Sean, I heard a scream erupt from Luna as she collapsed to the floor. I ran to Sean's side as he lifted his hammer and tapped her head with a hilt. She disintegrated into dust and was gone. I was so confused, I had to ask, "What was that?" "What? You didn't think I believed her, did you?" I saw the look on her face. I also peeked into the future. I also peered into her emotions, read her micro-expressions. I wanted to be 100% sure, and everything pointed towards her deceiving me and intending to catch me off guard and attempting to kill me quickly. So while she was internally gloating about her cunning, I slipped the dagger out of its sheath with the hand that wasn't busy unbuckling the hammer. And when she was close enough, I stabbed her. Taste of her own medicine. We laughed a bit. Boone's laugh was way more scarier than endearing. Not his fault. We radioed to the others that it was all over, and they reported that the Morguan had burst into dust a minute ago, and they were about to radio in to see what had happened. We regrouped in R&D, and Costas dismissed us to get some well-deserved rest, and he was going to order more troops to get Camp Natural back on track after the attack. It would be a while before things were back to normal. We all went back to the living quarters. None of us would sleep tonight. I wouldn't sleep for the next couple of nights. We had lots to discuss and a lot of cleanup to do. But for now, things were safe. All of our monsters had escaped or were killed, and so we would have to capture or recapture them. And Natural's work is never done. Wow. Absolutely phenomenal story there, Mr. Smokey Beardman. Thank you so much, brother, for all of your dedication and input. Guys and girls, I don't know if you've realised, but Smokey also went under a different pen name as Rixie Ryu about a year and a half or 2 years ago. So if you scan your way through my list of videos, I'm sure you will come across about 3 or 4 Rixie Ryu. I think it's 1, 2, 3. And they're just as good, just as entertaining, short stories for that half hour of view time. And of course, please do let us know down below in the comments what you guys thought. Please do like and share. It really does help build the channel and our community further. And of course, don't forget to hashtag TeamFEAR. Why not share it with family or friends? Spread the word. Help us grow the channel and the community. And above all, guys, I hope you're all well and happy. And remember, be safe, not sorry.